44, I'm not exactly sure, of the Love Sock Wool podcast. Thank you for hitting the play button and giving this little video a shot. I hope you're doing well. It is a beautiful, pretty sunny day in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I live. It's Sunday, February 26th, I think. Is today the 26th? I think it is. Not really sure. One would have to look at a calendar to be absolutely certain. But anyway, this is a podcast about knitting and making and so forth. So I hope you will pull up a chair and grab some coffee or tea and preferably a brownie or two. But please share with me if you are eating a brownie, because that is my favorite food in the whole entire world. On other social medias, I'm Love Brownies. I love brownies. ILUV brownies. That's me. I have an entire Pinterest board devoted to the love of brownies. So yeah, I'm on Pinterest too. I think I'm Love Sock Wool on Pinterest as well. So if you want to follow me there, that would be just fine. It's mainly recipes. That's all I post. So I have lots of socks to show you today, and I have one finished pair of socks, one single sock, plenty of cast-ons, and a little bit of stash enhancement. I've got a new shawl. I have a new Cozy Memories blanket that I started. Yes, I started another Cozy Memories blanket because, for several reasons. I'll explain myself when we get to that section. But starting off, I'll just go ahead and show you my finished pair of socks. Oh wait, shoot. You know what? Let me pause this and go get them because I left them over on my desk. Hold on. Okay, I found my socks. I finished the Arnie and Carlos socks that I think I was on the second sock. Yes, there are two of them. I was on the second sock, I think, the last time I recorded an episode. And this is the Arnie and Carlos. Actually, I have the tag right here. Their design line. I'm not sure. Is this their third? Oh, well, it says special edition, so I'm not really sure if it's an actual, well, because I think there's like four. I believe there are four different editions to the Arnie and Carlos Regia socks, but this is my absolute favorite colorway that they have come out with yet. It's color number 3768. I don't know if it has a name. Usually you have to look online to get the name of the colorway, but usually on the label it is just a number. It's just beautiful. I haven't decided if these will go into my gift pile of finished socks or if I will keep these, but I really want to keep them. And I did a contrast heel and toe in some lovely Deborah Norville Serenity sock in just white. You can get it at Joann's in the States and online, anywhere. I'm sure it's very inexpensive sock yarn, but I find it to be pretty sturdy and very soft. I love it for heels and toes. So yay, I've got a finished pair. I think I cast these on originally back in October 2016, so you know, 5 months later I have a finished pair of socks. That's how I roll. So yay, I got those done. And okay, let me find a convenient spot to rest this. Kind of have a slightly different setup here. I'm so excited. I finally have a new phone. I finally had an upgrade available, and I was able to replace my poor little tiny cracked iPhone. And so I'm actually trying to record on my new phone because it has more storage. Yay! And the camera quality I think is a little bit better. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm trying to speak up so that the speaker will hear me well. Okay, so I have a single sock that I have finished. I do have the second one cast on. I'm very excited about this. This is Mustache Yarns, the Be Mine. They're her Valentine's Day colorway. And I also did get this adorable little mini called Conversation Hearts that came with it. Well, I mean, you had to buy it separately. It didn't come with it, but anyway, I got it because I love it because it's like a lovely kind of variegated speckly yarn, and I think it obviously complements the self-striping yarn very, very well. So it's so, so pretty. I love it. And this yarn, so it's Mustache, Be Mine, 34 uneven stripes. 34! That is ridiculous. How does she do that? It's unbelievable to me how people dye self-striping yarn. It's beyond my capability to comprehend. I do have the second one cast on, and the lovely thing about Stacy's yarn is that it comes in two 50-gram hanks of yarn, and it's all ready to go so that you can have two perfectly matching socks, which is lovely. So normally I don't really care whether or not my stripes line up at all, but since Stacy does all the work for you to make that happen, it's fantastic. So yes, I'm really happy to at least be 50% of the way there. So that was a new cast on from a week ago. I think I cast it on a week ago. So that was pretty quick for me to get that cranked out as quickly as I did. I have another single sock I have finished in the last week, and this is my beautiful Pandy's Jewels Llama Corn. And this is on a sparkle base. I don't know if you can see that, but it is lovely and sparkly. Now, I had cast this on back in either August or September, I can't remember, and it was for the Unicorn Cow that Kristen was co-hosting with another podcaster, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember who it was, but obviously I didn't finish that cow either, but you know, 6 months later I have a single sock done. I'll take it. And I do not have the second one cast on yet, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. Okay, more cast-ons. So last time I showed you guys the Love You to Pieces by Leading Men Fiber Arts. And this is his February colorway of the month. And it is also a Valentine, well, yeah, it's kind of a Valentine's colorway. It's inspired by Reese's Pieces. Looks just like it. I love it. I love all the little shots of orange and yellow and deep brown. And so I am knitting Molly's of Homespun House, her sock yarn pattern called Mrs. Weasley's Family Sock Recipe. I love it. It's very potato chippy. And this base is the MCN base called Show Stealer. I really love it. And I can't quite reach, well, maybe you, I don't know if you could see. There's a tiny little brown ball of yarn right there. It's some Knit Picks Stroll, and I'm going to use that as a contrast heel and toe for these socks. Okay, there are more socks, but let's just get slightly organized here. My field bag that I love so much. Okay, I've made quite a good progress on my first sock of No Maker's Stars Hollow. It's a Gilmore Girls color. I love it. I'm almost to the toe. I have to knit I have to knit about 10 more rounds. I'll be at the toe. And I've just got a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and this is the House Gnome base that I love. It's very, very soft. Pleasure to knit. Okay, I have one more cast on. It's a lot of socks. I feel like I'm going really fast. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. So because I had finished the Regia, Arnie, and Carlos, I kind of just had Regia sock yarn on my brain, and I felt sad that I didn't have any Regia on my needles, so I went and pulled out of my stash this fun skein that is a Kristen Nicholas design line, Colorations Color, and this is color number 3313. I think it's got a name. I think it's something pansy. Not exactly sure. This was so kindly gifted to me by Marianne Kidd on Instagram. I think she's Marianne Kidd on Ravelry too. Hi, Marianne! I finally cast it on! So, yeah, I'm just knitting 64 stitches, and I've got these on my lovely signature circular needles that I really, really adore. These are exceptional needles. I love them. And I did Fish Lips Kiss. I'm knitting the leg just a little bit shorter than I normally do, just so I can crank them out a little bit faster. So yes, these are all first socks. I have a whole slew of second socks that are on the needles, but I haven't really touched them. I only will show them when I've made progress on them, but I am trying to focus on, like, each week I try to pick a second sock from my basket of second socks that I have on the needles and just focus on one of them for that week, so that theoretically every week I should have a finished pair of socks. That is the theory. That is not always what happens, but I like to think that I can make that happen. So I'm not sure which sock I'll focus on for the coming week. I need to make that decision. Maybe I'll try to crank out Juliet's little Rainbow Dash socks that I showed a while back. They're really cute. They're Brew City Yarns, Rainbow Dash, sparkly sock yarn. Okay, I've got one more sock that I cast on. I hardly have any progress though, shockingly, but okay, so we are hosting the Anne of Green Gables, or Anne-along, for the months of February and March, and I'm co-hosting that Cal with Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast. So the finished object thread is in my group on Ravelry, the Love Sock Wool podcast group on Ravelry, and the chatter thread is in Jilly's group, which is the Knitting Broomstick. So please do come and join both of our groups so that you can chatter in Jilly's group. And if you are not watching Jilly's podcast, turn this one off and go watch her podcast, because it's way better than mine. She is hilarious and wonderful and so inspiring on multiple levels. So if you're not watching Jilly, you really should be. She's a treat. Okay, so you can chatter in her thread and post your finished objects in my thread. And so yeah, you have all the way through to the end of March. March 31st is when the Anne-along will be done. And I have quite a few prizes. I have 5 copies of Paula Emmons Feasley's beautiful Balsam Hollow shawl pattern that she is so generously donating to the Cal. So I have 5 of those to give away. And last time I showed you guys the really beautiful yarns that Erin, Mama to Abigail on Ravelry, she sent me. I've got a large drawstring project bag and 2 skeins of yarn. One is from Andre Sue Knits, the other is Baron Vola. So great prizes. And then in a second, I have to pause to go grab, but I have another little special prize package that came this past week from the Wheelhouse on Instagram. She was in Prince Edward Island and picked up some goodies and sent them to me as a giveaway. So there's some raspberry jam, there's a beautiful kind of like postcard size picture of Anne sitting on a quilt that you could put in a frame. I'll show you to you in a second. There's some candy and little Anne treats that she got at the Anne of Green Gables store, which is really exciting. I'll tell you in my Anne of Green Gables story. So back in 2006, I think it was 2006, it was in the summer, it was late summer, Ben and myself and Priscilla, who was only, was she 2? She might have only been 18 months old. She was the only kid we had yet. So we traveled with Ben's parents and Ben's sister and Ben's brother's family, we all caravanned from upstate New York and drove all the way to Prince Edward Island. I think it took us 2 days to get there, or we took 2 days to drive there. And we rented 2 kind of cottage style homes that they were rental cottages that were kind of right by the sea. I mean, you had to walk a little bit to get to the sea, but close enough. And that was just a lovely vacation. We stayed in Prince Edward Island for about a week. And while we were there, Kathy, my mother-in-law, and Jessie, my sister-in-law, we did an Anne of Green Gables crawl. We went and visited the childhood home of Ellen Montgomery while we were there. And I believe there were 2 homes that you could go tour, because we went to several different places, and they were so interesting. And I picked up a copy of Ellen Montgomery's diaries or journals, and I believe there's 2 volumes. I got the first volume, so it's all her journals from her younger years. So interesting. And okay, so then we went to the Anne of Green Gables house, which is really just a replica of the set from the movie, the original movie with Megan Follows. So it's totally a tourist trap, but it was so much fun. And there's a big gift shop, and you can get Anne stuff. There's raspberry cordial everywhere, and anyway, those were good times. If you ever get a chance to go to Prince Edward Island, you should definitely go to all of those places and just channel your inner Anne, because she's there. She's all over that island. Okay, back to knitting. Speaking of Anne of Green Gables, I got my Anne of Green Gables yarn from the Yarn at Home mom. She has a gorgeous Anne of Green Gables colorway. I think you can still pre-order it. I believe she still might have the listings up in her shop. She's Shannon, the Yarn at Home mom, on Etsy. And this is on her sparkle base. I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle, but it is there. And so there is, there's greens and blues and kind of auburn red for Anne's hair. There's so much Anne in here. It's wonderful. So I have a pair of socks that I've cast on. Obviously, I've not gotten very far, but it's on the needles. That's what matters. Okay, so I feel like I've been a major fail with all of my shawls I've tried to cast on for the Anne of Green Gables, or for the Anne Along. So I had cast on the Balsam Hollow shawl, and I love that shawl tremendously. And I got, a little bit of it done, but I don't know if I just was so busy that all I really kept wanting to knit was socks, so I kept not making much progress on shawls. Then I found the Kelpie shawl by Jared Flood that I showed on my last episode, because it just reminded me of a shawl that Marilla would knit for herself or for Anne, and it's a hap style shawl with a bit, the feather and fan on the edges. But for some reason, I just wasn't picking it up to knit it. So I love that pattern. I love that shawl. I'm completely inspired by it, but for some reason, I just wasn't picking it up. Well, then yet another shawl came across my view, and it's the Coastline shawl. Actually, I don't have the pattern with me, and I apologize, I don't know the designer's name, but it is the Coastline shawl. And I had just gotten in the mail on Friday, I think, yes, Susan B. Anderson's wonderful Wisconsin woolen spun, which she has in small batches in her Barrett Wool Co. shop, her new yarn company, which I just love. I love that she has her own yarn now. It's so exciting. So this is the fingering weight Wisconsin woolen spun, which is all fiber, I believe, from Midwestern farms that they get from a local mill. And it's just squishy. I mean, look at the size of this cake. It's the size of my face. It's 450 yards, and they're ginormous. They're 100-gram hanks or skeins, and I cast on my Coastline shawl, and I utterly adore it. So I think this is going to be my Ann shawl. I think three's a charm. And I love it because it's basically, it's all garter stitch. And then you've got sections of garter and then sections of feather and fan lace. And I don't know why, but for some reason I have been utterly obsessed with feather and fan lace. And there's many shawls out there that have feather and fan in them. Like the Party on My Needles by Joji Locatelli has feather and fan in it at the bottom. The Kelpie has feather and fan at the bottom. And of course this one. There's, okay, so do you guys know the Folk Shawls book? Who is by Cheryl Oberly? I believe that's the author. There's one or two feather and fan shawls in that shawl book, which I did order that. I should show you that. It's over on the right. It's right over there in that basket right there. But anyway, so the feather and fan lace pattern, stitch pattern, it's very easy to do. But for some reason I was having a difficult time finding a pattern that I could easily read. And I mean, it's not hard. It's just that feather and fan is very stitch count specific. Like you have to have the correct number of stitches on your needles for that lace motif to work. So if you're off, it's kind of hard to fix it. So anyway, this pattern, the Coastline Shawl, there's like an extra, my kids I gave them some yarn and they were cutting it all up. This pattern is incredibly easy to read. You know where you are in the pattern. It's a delight. So I cannot recommend it highly enough. And okay, so the pink is called Blushing. And then the darker one, it's like a deep chocolatey brown, is called Hawthorn. I totally want some more of it. I want to get a whole bunch of gray woolen, Wisconsin woolen spun. I want to make a sweater. I want to make that branches and buds sweater that Susan's making. I'm obsessed with it. I can't even stop thinking about it. I'm so excited. And what I think I can do is I think I can make the fingering work if it's still in stock. I don't know. I'll have to go check. But okay, so this is considered fingering, but I mean, I think it's kind of plump. It's a kind of, I mean, I don't know. I guess it might be a matter of opinion, but for me, I feel like this is a nice plump fingering that I think I can make it work for the Branches and Buds sweater pattern. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Ravelry and look up Branches and Buds sweater by Carrie Bostic Hogue. I think that's how you say her name. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful yoked pullover with color work on the top, and then it's just a very simple sweater pattern. And I've never ever knit myself a sweater, and it's one of my dreams to do so one day, but I've just never been able to make that happen. So that might be the sweater that becomes my first sweater. But anyhow, I love it. I adore it. You should knit this shawl in this yarn or any yarn. I think any fingering weight yarn would be gorgeous in this pattern. So yes. Okay. So I want to show you my cozy memories because I started another one because that's what I do. I now have 3 on the go and I'm okay with that. It's okay. They each have their role and their purpose. So I have my big one that is, I mean, it's the one that is the biggest in size, and the squares are 44 stitches. And then I had started a second one, and those squares are 40 stitches. They're a little bit smaller. And I just all of a sudden one day I got inspired to start another one. And I completely blame Sue Knit24 from the Legacy Fiber Arts podcast because she's been obsessed with her Cozy Memories blanket, and I watch her Periscope pretty much every day that I can. I can't always catch it live because she comes on when I'm in the middle of trying to get 2 kids to this bus stop and 1 kid to that bus stop, so I kind of catch her in between. But she was, I think it was last week or it was the week before, but she was showing her Cozy Memories blanket like every single day. And her squares are 60 stitch squares. So they're quite a bit bigger. And I was really drawn to that because, for several reasons. Because you use up more yarn that way. They do take a little bit longer to knit, but you use up more of your leftovers, and it really showcases, the square is just bigger, so it showcases the yarn more. So, okay, I'm gonna pause this and go get my Cozy Memories because it's over there. See my bag? I'll go get it. I'll be right, okay. Would you like to see my new Cozy Memories? I will show it to you. I have 10 squares on my new Cozy Memories blanket, and this one is 60 stitch squares. So see how they're bigger? Here, I'll get my other one. So this one is my 40 stitch squares, and this one is 60 stitches. Sorry, I'm probably not showing that very well, but. And of course, I still love this. I absolutely adore all of my scrappy mitered square blankets, but oh, I just love it. Oh, and the other reason why I wanted to start another one is because I realized that, I don't know if you can see, and maybe you can't. Well, maybe more, okay, here we go. More down at the bottom. So you know how you have that diagonal line for the decrease line? On this one, they're not all going in the same direction, which is fine, but I just really want them all going in the same direction. So, and I realized what I was doing wrong. So now I've got it right, I think. So hopefully I won't mess it up, but I'm just loving this so much. So I started with this square, and this is a Haverland Yarns that from the Franken Socks kit that I got. I think this is 2 of the Haverlands, but I ran out. See, that's the thing. I ran out of yarn. I love when I run out of yarn because it means I used it all up. So, yay. And then this is T-Rex by Atomic Blue Fibers, which I also adore. This is the Dowager Countess by Lolo Did It. This is I Can't Put My Arms Down by Homespun House, one of her Christmas colorways. My friend Patty gave me a mini of that. I'm so happy she did. It's a sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but that was really fun to knit. This is Hedgehog Fibers Film Noir, which I adore. Leading Men Fiber Arts, Oh Christmas Tree. And this is Lemonade Shop Sweater Weather that Jilly gave me a little mini of that, and I ran out. It's all gone. And then this is a little postage stamp of Winter Wonderland by Whip Yarns. That's like a wintry Christmas colorway that I never knit any socks with that yet. I made a Christmas ornament with it and then put that little bit on here. And then this is my Arnie and Carlos from these socks. And this is the Yarn Cafe Creations, The Goose is Getting Fat from Patty. She gave me a mini. And then this is Anne of Green Gables from the Yarn at Home Mom. So I'm gonna put in, I think the next square I'm gonna do is Leading Men Fiber Hearts and Story. So I'll get that one in next. And then I've got Shauna's Adelaide Cottage, the Raspberry Cordial. I want to get a square of that. So then I can have 3 Anne squares all together. So anyway, yes, that's my story. I still love my 40 square one. And I need to finish this row along the top here. So I'll finish this row out, and I mean it's big enough that, like, okay, we have this here. So you see there's a chair in the, hold on. I'm sorry if I'm giving anyone vertigo. Okay, see there's a chair in the corner over there. I'll probably put, I'll drape it over the back, and then it's like, it's just this beautiful, colorful piece that is on the back of the chair. And it can still go on your lap and warm your warm your knees. And then upstairs I have the first one that I cast on that is the 44 stitch blanket, and that one is much bigger than this one, and I still need to finish off one of the rows. So I just need to finish off my rows, and then yeah, they can be just colorful bits of beauty on my furniture or on a chair. And if I have the urge to pick them up and put more squares on, I can certainly do that at any time. So it's not like, I mean, you can call it done, but if you want to keep knitting on it, you certainly can. So, but anyway, I'm really happy that I started a bigger square one, because I love just settling in with a yarn that I'm really jazzed to knit on, and just enjoy every stitch. And I love that the square is big enough that you use up more yarn and you really get to showcase that beautiful yarn. So yes. Okay. I have just a few skeins to show you that I'm excited about, just two. So I did get in the mail yesterday my hippo for St. Patrick's Day. It's so exciting. I can't tell if this is right side up or not. So this is, Lolo did it. She's doing all her wonderful hippos for the holidays all year, and I'm so excited about it. So this is the St. Patrick's Day one. And this is her plush sock base, which is exciting for me because I've not tried this one yet. I've only ever gotten her MCN base that she calls Lolo's favorite. And it's my absolute favorite MCN base I've ever seen. This is this is another one I got last week I think, and it's Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love. So this is an Elvis inspired Valentine's Day colorway. I absolutely adore it. I love all these pinks. I love Elvis. I used to be obsessed with him when I was younger. I had one of his CDs, but I listened to it a lot and I really liked it. And I need to find some Elvis fabric and make Elvis bags. Wouldn't that be fun? So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with this. This is all I have to show you for stash. Beautiful Lolo did it. If you get a chance, you should knit with Lolo Did It. Her colors are always fun and cheerful and happy, and her bases are beautiful, and her colorways are really fun. So I think the next hippo colorway is going to be hippos for Easter, and I cannot wait to see what Lauren does for hippos for Easter. I still have to finish my hippos for Christmas and hippos for Valentine's. I have those first socks finished, but I've got to get the second ones going. So I'm not going to cast this one on imminently just because I need to get some other things cleared off the needles first. I think that might be all I have to show you for knitting. I wish I had some quilting to show you. I actually have been doing a fair bit of Quilt As You Go quilting. We've just about finished 2 more prayer quilts just this year. It's amazing. My friend Tracy and I have been cranking out prayer quilts. One is for a friend of hers that I actually have not ever met. And then we completed another prayer quilt for a sweet lady in our church who had surgery. And for both of those prayer quilts, we did the Quilt As You Go, the pattern called Rainy Days from the Quilt As You Go Made Modern book. If I should show that to you, but it's over there. But anyway, I still need to finish my Ballard quilt with the Backyard Roses, and I think it's called Calico Days. I think I only have to make like 7 more squares and it'll be done, but I just haven't had time. But in sewing news, I did just get an order of more Anne of Green Gables fabric. So I've got the blue, it's the fabric that if I can, I'll try to insert a photo here. If I can remember. I apologize if I don't, but if you go to my Instagram and scroll down, you'll see some Anne bags. But I've got the blue fabric and the green fabric, and it says Anne of Green Gables on it, and there's a picture of Anne and Diana on it. I've got more of that fabric, so this week I'm going to be working on getting as many of those sewn up as I can. I think total, though, I'm only going to have 16 bags. I can't get all of that sewn in 1 week. I might only be able to get about half of that sewn in 1 week, so it's going to take me a couple weeks to get them all sewn. But just to give you a heads up, if you were wanting an Anne of Green Gables bag, more are coming. I do not do custom orders. I just don't have time. My sewing time is very limited. I have had a lot of people message me to say, can you please tell me when they're there? Just look on, I'll post on Instagram when they're ready. And so if you follow me on Instagram, that's when you'll know that they're in the shop. So yes, so I hope you're having fun knitting Anne things. Are you reading the books? There's like 7 of them, I believe. And I've read, of course, all of them a couple times, I think, when I was growing up. And you know what? I haven't been listening to it. I need to get back to it. I've just been obsessed with my All Creatures Great and Small books that I keep reading every night before I go to bed. It puts me right to sleep. But I need to get back to my Anne books, and because they are wonderful. And if you haven't read them, you really should, because they're a treasure. So I think I'll let you go. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I hope it is restful for you. And the house is actually quiet now. Priscilla's out with a friend, and Ben took the kids swimming at the Y. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I should try to go and run or something. Exercise. Dang it. Sometimes I just don't want to, but I should, because it's actually really beautiful out. I have a delicious pork roast in the crock pot, and I happen to have a cabbage in the fridge, so I made some coleslaw. So we're gonna have pork and coleslaw for dinner, and maybe some cornbread. So that will be delicious. And yeah, just getting ready for the week ahead. Get lunches made and get everyone where they're supposed to be. Oh, in other news, Ben took the bar last week, so praise the Lord, he's done with that. We won't know if he passed for a couple months. I think he probably did. He studied crazy a lot for the past 6 months, basically. He's been studying nonstop, so he better have passed. But it's just lovely that he doesn't have to study anymore. So I feel like we have husband and daddy back, which is really good. So I will let you go. Thank you for watching. I so appreciate you all so much, and God bless you, and have fun with your knitting. Bye. Okay, I wanted to show you the prize package that Heather, the Wheelhouse, sent for the Annalong. So we've got some Island potato soap and Shirley's lavender soap. So fun. I remember that about Prince Edward Island, is that there were potatoes everywhere. The French fries there were really good. I remember that. Gilbert's toffee. Doesn't that sound delicious? I didn't know that Gilbert made toffee. Is that in the books? I don't remember that. And then a chocolate lollipop. It says Anne. And then Avonlea preserves, raspberry, Prince Edward Island. That'll be delicious. And then there's some tea. And then this beautiful picture of Anne sitting on a quilt. You could put that in a frame. So this is a lovely little, all kinds of little souvenirs from Prince Edward Island. So thank you so much, Heather, for sending this. This is wonderful. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that before I ended the podcast. All right, see you next time.